Hey, so these two org charts are absolutely incredible in shaping your business and more than anything else, transforming your mindset into the proper way to think about your business. And the book that they were derived from is the book Traction. And if you haven't read the book Traction by Gene Wickman, absolutely my top two favorite books. My other favorite book, and I only mention it because it's only recently come out and it is it definitely relates. It's this book, Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. Just noticed for the first time actually that Dan Sullivan gave the quote up here, and he's the one that wrote this next book. Kind of interesting. But Dan Sullivan is the number one entrepreneurial coach in the world, no question. And he actually always preaches and teaches this idea of don't try to figure out how to do something, figure out who can do it for you. And he had this book written, not by himself, but he wrote this book through somebody, named Benjamin Hardy, also amazing guy that you should follow. He has a great podcast. Moving on. So regarding this book, Traction, there's a coaching style that's taught in it called the EOS. And this is there's a number of things that are taught. One of them is this org chart that you should follow. The other being that putting the right people in the right place, and the third being the right team weekly structure. But regarding the org chart, it comes like this. But there's an amazing man out there named Gary Harper. He runs this Sharper Business Solutions. He has specialized in helping real estate investors systemize and grow their business through like those three things, the EOS system. And Gary has been so kind to transform this ugly, like generic org chart into a proper org chart for real estate investors. So as you can see, and these titles become a lot more familiar to you as you read the book Traction. But you have this owner, visionary, integrator, and then these are all specific to the real estate investing space. So you got marketing, you got acquisitions, dispositions, transaction coordination, and then this is more if you're keeping rentals or doing fix and flips, project management, property management, and of course the finance and HR and all those other things. So the huge aha moment, the huge kind of mind or game changing thing that needs to take place for you is as you start out, you need to realize that at the beginning, essentially your name is in all of these different boxes. You own the marketing department, you own the acquisition, and you own all these jobs under it, right? The idea of the EOS system and the idea that you need to have in your head is I need to replace myself in all of these boxes with somebody else. So for example, for me personally, I took my first sales call when I started my real estate investing business, and I realized I was horrible at it and I didn't enjoy it, and I could very well hire somebody to be in that role that would do a better job than I could, and it would free my time up to focus on what I was good at. So from day one, actually after my first sales call, I hired somebody else to lead my acquisitions team. I also realized I was not the most organized person in the world, and I was 100% the visionary. I am not an integrator. So I hired somebody else to run my integrator role. So this whole org chart is more for you to see all the different jobs there are, how to structure your business, and then hire other people to do those. This org chart is available in both a PDF version and in this this is Lucid chart if you want to play around with it and add more things to it. So this chart I didn't have when I was running my business, but the whole concept behind it I did, and it really truly helped me scale and allowed me to achieve the financial freedom that I did. Now, the other chart that's mine and I created was very early on. So I actually looked at the date here. I developed this in October 2017. I actually started doing my rental business in about July, August of 2017. And at the beginning, it was all me. I owned the dispositions workspace, all those job roles. And it was always a constant battle of trying to figure out, okay, we got a house under contract. My sales team got a house under contract. What do we do with it? And so I built this simple disposition flow chart. But more importantly, I think the best concept to understand is my sales team was tasked with getting a contract, period. And I told them, get the house under contract for full listing price for whatever it is, and we'll figure out what to do with it, because we have a lot of different exit strategies that we can do. So not included on here is listing the house with a broker. And I personally didn't want to do that because I was trying to build up a rental portfolio at the time. And so I didn't want to kind of have that as a distraction. But I would say with the home prices and the rent to own, anyways, it makes a lot more sense in my opinion now to essentially really consider hard that disposition strategy of getting houses listed, working with another short story. I have a client right now that is getting every two appointments he goes on, he gets one contract. And they're almost all listing contracts. And what he does is he doesn't want to build up a large brokerage or use up his time. So he really has understood this idea of who, not how. So he finds he finds the best brokers, the best realtors in the different zip codes, in the different areas. And then he teams up with them by just getting the contracts and handing over the listings to them to do all the work. Yeah, he's only making 25% of that potential listing, but he's able to get a whole lot more volume. But the whole idea, he is a wholesaler at heart, but he just understands, I want to get as many contracts as I can, and then I'll figure out what to do with those contracts. But anyways, this was the other org chart that really helped my team. So I didn't become a bottleneck of trying to figure out, okay, we got this property under contract, what do we do with it? So I'll go through this in another video in a lot more detail, but essentially we would first look at the house, and everything here had to be a yes in order for us to keep it as a rental. If, say, it wasn't in a good neighborhood, then it was a no. So then we'd say, okay, can we wholesale this property? Certain criteria had to be met, and it was all in an Excel spreadsheet, and it took the guesswork out of everything and allowed us to do a whole lot more volume. And I especially want to get into lease options, because with the lease options, it turned out that we could often homes that wouldn't have fit in any other criteria, we were still able to make massive amount of money from them using this lease option. So definitely stick around for the video or the training that I do around that. All right, so that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. Would love to answer and dive deeper into this whole traction and EOS and these different org charts. That is it for now. Have a great one.